Welcome to Cooking with Miss O. Let's join Mary Beth Oxendine in the kitchen as she teaches you how to cook Southern style healthy.
Welcome to Cooking with Miss O. We're so happy to have you back, and this is another Springer Mountain Chicken show for y'all. And we are doing a whole new recipe this time. We are doing the chicken nuggets. We had done a children's program where y'all saw the chicken nuggets eaten.
That was a lot of fun.
It was, wasn't it? And the kids loved it. We were kind of worried there because they were telling us beforehand all the stuff they didn't like.
They didn't like, but they loved it. And I was asked at my office if I would bring back some of those chicken nuggets, and I was having to say there wasn't any left.
Oh, bless your heart! I'll send some.
Between us and the crew, that we ate them every one.
Well,
and those kids were eating them about faster than you could make them.
I owe y'all 3 apple pies. I have to bake for y'all. So when I do that, Marie Pritchard and I'll come bring y'all some chicken nuggets.
Looking forward to it.
Okay.
Looking forward to it.
I wanted to tell y'all too that I freeze these and then I make other meals with them. And our next show, this is going to be a 2-parter, y'all. This one we're going to do the nuggets, and then stay tuned because the next one will be right after this one will be a one where I'm going to do a freezer meal out of that. And it was a dinner that I can make real easily when my husband would bring other people home for dinner, or when my kids do, and it's one of the family favorites. And so what we're going to start off with first, Gus, is we're going to do the food processor with the bread. And I'm going to get you familiar with the food processor. We talked about this.
That's right.
I know there's
I knew them as a blender.
Yes, that's how they started out.
Right.
And then they decided everybody bought up all the blenders, so they had to invent something else. So actually a blender can do just about what a food processor can do. But I don't know that a food processor can do all that a blender, so this one actually has a place for a blender to go on it.
Okay.
So that's why they've put those two together.
Why did you pick this particular model?
Because it was on sale at a place called Tuesday Morning, and it's a Bosch, and you know I love Bosch appliances, so because my mixers are Bosches. And I saw it there, and it was so cheap.
Wait for it to go on sale.
Yeah, well, it was cheap because that's one of those places where they buy up things. And this has already lasted me probably 5 years now.
Wow, okay.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yes, and you use it a lot, more than the regular person.
I do. When I do my freezer cooking, which Marie Pritchard and I are going to be doing a freezer DVD that people can buy, where we show them how to put 30 meals in their freezer. You do it one Saturday a month, and you have all your meals for families that, you know, don't have time to cook every night. Now, I cooked every night, but a lot of families don't because they have a lot of activities.
Right,
and
they haven't got time.
No, they don't have time. Now, just tear it up. You don't have to do it so much. Go ahead and put some in there. We're going to tear this up. This is a loaf of bread I made. You don't have to wait till it's day old. Here you go, Gus. Just tear that up. We're going to make, we're going to do the chicken nuggets in this. And this is dinner number 11 in my cookbook. And we're doing the chicken nuggets. And today we're doing it with the green beans, which I've already gotten done here. We've already cut up an onion. We've put our olive oil in it. And we've already cut up our garlic. And I want to show you here. I usually use a garlic press from Pampered Chef, but I've realized that a lot of people don't have those, Gus. So this is called the bulb, and you know that, don't you?
Yes, that's the bulb.
And it has a bunch of these little things, and these are called the clove.
Clove.
Isn't it? Is that
yes,
right? Yes. I got
and another show I learned how to cut that up.
Yes,
I did.
You did.
And I'd like
right.
to mention this too before we get off the bread. I'd asked Mary Beth earlier, I said, do we have to use old bread? And I was just thinking because maybe it'd be a little bit staler or tougher, easier to crumble. And Mary Beth said, my bread doesn't get old, Gus. Never any of it left to get old.
No, there's not.
so we're using fresh bread just made this morning.
And when I make the bread, what I do is cut me off a slice, put it in a Ziploc, and when I'm going around doing errands and stuff, if I get hungry, I have that bread in the car with me, and I just eat that bread, and I always take my cup of water.
Right.
So that way I'm not tempted to stop, because I really love ice cream, and I really love Coke floats.
Drink water.
I know. So I'm trying to drink my water, eat my bread, and not stop at those places.
That's true. And it is a known fact, too, that if you'll drink your water, that'll take away your appetite.
It does.
Yes, it
does.
It
actually does. And one slice of this bread also has protein in it, so it gives me the protein boost I need.
Yes.
Isn't that wonderful?
That is.
Instead of eating those little crackers that you can buy and stuff like that.
They're full of salt.
Well, yeah, and they're hydrogenated, so that's really bad for us. Yes. And that can make your joints hurt, and people don't realize that. A lot of those processed things like that will make your joints hurt, and you think something's wrong with you. And when you stop the hydrogenated food and you drink water and stop the sugar and the hydrogenation within a week, you won't be hurting in your joints or your bones anymore.
Like you said, those snack crackers, they're so processed.
They are so good tasting though.
Well,
we all love them, but you know, it's not good for us at all.
No.
And we shouldn't get our kids hooked on them either.
Okay,
Okay.
you got it locked down.
And actually, those crackers are what people told me to go on when I had low blood sugar when I was first married, and I did that. But with this bread, one slice of bread, if my sugar starts to drop or something, which I don't have that problem anymore, but when I first started with that, I did that, and it would level out my sugar within 15 minutes.
Wow.
Is that not something?
That is.
Now, that's not diabetic. That's low blood sugar.
Right.
Okay, go ahead, Gus, just hit it.
Okay, we
One.
want one.
Yeah, go to 2. It'll be fine. That's pretty loud. I don't know if they can hear us. Let's go one more and get it real quick. I think that's pretty good, don't you?
That is, okay. Now, and this is going to be our breading for our nuggets.
That's right. And
Okay,
now,
and how fine do you want the breading to be?
well, this is pretty fine. It really is. You can do it finer if you like, but it doesn't really matter. We might do a little bit more, but now what we're going to do, we're going to measure in our spices, Gus. I'm going to let you do that if you don't mind.
Okay.
Okay. And we have a half a teaspoon of paprika, of the onion powder, and what's the
I
black
got
pepper?
black pepper.
Yeah, we're doing a half teaspoon of all this.
Okay,
And I think this is the
paprika.
half teaspoon. See if that's the half or the fourth. Do you see on there what it is? I left my glasses at home today, Gus.
Uh,
Is that a fourth or a half? I think that's the size we need.
I believe that's it.
I think it
Very
is
good.
too. Here, and on this side, this is my
This is
Tupperware
too good.
spices, and then you can pour out of this side or dip out of that. So put a
Okay.
half in there.
What would you think about putting if you had some cayenne pepper?
You can actually, and I have done that before to give it a little bit of spice.
Yeah.
But when you have kids or company, and when you're doing it, I'll put some of these in the freezer for that dinner I'm going to do on another show, which is it's called Italian chicken, and I can't get that one open. Can you, Gus? These are kind of new, so they're a little harder to get open sometimes.
Okay.
But that keeps them fresher. Now, the reason I use the Tupperware for my spice and for everything like that is because, Gus, it doesn't get bugs in it because this has no preservatives to it. This is all organic spices. So, and then we have salt. We need a teaspoon of salt.
Okay.
So, I think you have a teaspoon, a bigger one. Let's see.
Yes.
That one there, yeah. There you go.
Okay.
And I do sea salt. I get that at Ingles.
Yes.
Because I get USA sea salt. I don't get it from out of the country.
And the sea salt is better for you because of what?
Well, there's sugar in your table Morton salt,
And
and,
right.
they don't have to report that, but there is. And for people,
I didn't know that.
yeah, and see, it's sugar for people that have sugar problems and they eat a lot of salt. That's why they eat a lot of salt because they're craving that sugar that's in the salt, and that's why people eat too much salt. And it's not good for your blood pressure or anything like that.
You got to. You got to know what you're doing, Mary Beth, and you do. You
Well,
really
I
do.
had to.
Well,
You
I
know
just
that
wanted to
from
tell
my
you
child.
too, as I've said before, you cook the purest of anybody that I've ever seen. Now, all of your
Really?
ingredients are homemade, is pure, and that's why we partner with you with Springer Mountain Farms chicken, because it's the purest form of chicken that you can get, and you
You're
cook
right.
the purest.
I checked y'all out
food.
real thoroughly.
I
You
know.
are.
It's a great story. You were cooking with Springer Mountain years before we ever
I know.
got together.
Before I even
Thank
had
you
this-
for finding us. You found us.
Oh, I love y'all. Let me tell you, you know that already, though. I love everybody there. Everybody's been so kind to Marie Pritchard and I. Now, you can do that. We're going to mix that up just a little bit. Go ahead.
One or two.
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 Let's try 2. See how it gets all those spices in there real good?
Yes.
This is, okay, I think that's plenty.
That is great, and I did do the tactical. Tried to go around instead of just putting them in one
And you
place.
can actually, if you wanted to, like I have some crumbs here,
Yeah.
you can just pour it down in there. Because we're going to put our stuff on here. Let me see if I can get that in there. I'm going to make a mess, so let me just leave it there.
Okay.
Here we go. We'll put our bread here. Let me get some water. All this talking, I'll get dry.
Are you going to leave the breading in here?
This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a bunch of this in this bag, and I'm going to get you to help me with this,
Oh, okay. We're going to do this.
if you don't mind.
Just shake 'em
I think
up.
this is the only spoon I've got right here. So if you don't mind, if you'll,
Yes. You want me to? I'll
yeah,
put
why don't
that
you
in
put
there.
it close there, and I'll just
Okay.
stick it in there because it's probably going to fall through some of this.
That's pretty good.
There. And then we're going to dump, I used the chicken, right here, the chicken tenders from Springer Mountain Farms, because instead of the breast, this is easier. I take a little pair of plastic scissors, and I put plastic gloves on. I want y'all to know you have to do that with young kids so they know how to be clean around raw meat because it can be dangerous. And so the other thing is, y'all, when you do the chicken tenders, and I so wish Ingle would get chicken tenders. You can go ahead and take that off. Oh, yeah.
Unlock it.
Thank you, Gus. Think you could pour it? I'll hold it.
I believe we just poured it in.
Okay, that'd be great. Thanks.
There we go.
And then we just dump the chicken tenders in here.
Okay.
Okay, and we just, and then we're going to put it on this. I use this kind of paper on my, when I'm baking because it absorbs all the grease, and you've seen that.
Yes.
And so it's wonderful. It doesn't make a big mess for you. So I just want to thank y'all. We're going to a commercial break, and we'll be right back. And I need that paper that I put here in the box. We're back, and we're going to put this in here, but I forgot to, Gus reminded me that I forgot my scripture for today, and it will be up on the show. It probably has been. Psalms 118:24. This is the day the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. That's so important.
That's a good one.
That's good for health,
that is,
isn't it?
That is.
When you rejoice and you're thankful. I have a girlfriend that has been there for me since Tom died, and we had kids together and all. Her name's Carolyn Bolden, and she's always telling me, be grateful, be grateful. And the other day,
so many people aren't.
I know, and I usually don't have problems with that. The other day I had something that was really bothering me, and I called her and I was crying, and she said, Mary, just think of one thing you can be grateful for. And that helped me. It fixed my day.
Yeah.
You know, so if we can just remember.
So much to
we
be thankful for.
We do. Yeah. And we forget so easily, don't we?
We sure do.
So,
you know, and talking about things to be grateful for, the average American spends about maybe 7 to 8 cents out of every dollar that they make on food, where if you go to some other undeveloped countries, stuff like that, the other countries, it's 50, 60 cents of their dollars. So we're very lucky to have such a good, affordable food supply.
You know, this TV show, you just learned something about this TV station today, didn't you?
Yes, I did. This TV station is the longest running Christian station that there is in the world. 41 years, and I was telling the people here about how proud they ought to be of that, and what an accomplishment. Longest running Christian TV station in the world.
Well, let me tell you, at Christmas, my mom used to knit had gloves and hats, and the people that started it, and the boys are running it now, Dwayne and Dante, and they go up to Appalachia, and they're going up to Appalachia again this year. And because of all the coal mines being shut down and stuff, there's 5,000 families, y'all, and without work, and these kids, and they're so poverty, and they're taking any kind of donations to help them for that. So I want to tell everybody that's watching, if you think about it at Christmas, maybe buy one less thing and send some to help this station. They've been doing it since I was a teenager. Is this not amazing?
Yes, that's great. So you would send a donation to this station?
Yes,
for the people in Appalachia?
That's what I would think. Okay. Send it in care of Dante or Dwayne, or call the station. And their number is 864-244-1616. And let's help. Because it's wonderful for us to do stuff across the ocean, but it's also great to help our own people here, too.
Yes.
It is.
And
you know?
I'll tell you what, it starts at home, Mary Beth.
It does, doesn't it? Now, I'm going to show y'all, I've put this in the breadcrumbs, and it's sticking good because the chicken was wet.
Yes.
And I don't put anything on the chicken because some people might be allergic to eggs, or they might be allergic to milk, or whatever like that.
Yes, you rinsed it off?
Oh. Actually, you know.
But seriously, what I was wondering, how soon did we put it in here after you rinsed off? Because it's got to have a little moisture on it for the bread to stick to.
And I cut it. I cut it with little scissors into nugget sizes. These were chicken tenders just like this. And they were frozen. I thawed them up. And then I put bags of these chicken nuggets in my freezer in my 30-day cooking, because I can do all kinds of meals with these.
Right.
Plus, it's a great snack.
And you did the tenders, but you could take our individually frozen boneless, skinless breasts and cut them up.
I do those a lot of time, too.
Yes.
Depending on what I get on sale.
Okay.
And let me remind you about this, too. If you want chicken... if you want Springer Mountain chicken, all you have to do starting next week is, well, actually, we're taping this now, so it'll be there when y'all see this show. There will be a sheet you can download, and you can take it to your butcher, your meat man at your store, and it requests what we want you to get from Springville Mountain. Because I even have trouble, even though I have Ingles and they always have the breast, they never have the tenders, and I would love the tenders.
Everybody needs to carry more variety.
Yes, I do the whole chicken for Sunday dinner, and then that's what I do my chicken broths from. And then my chicken breasts I use all the time. I do meals into the freezer, and then the chicken tenders I use all the time, as you saw before when we did those grilly ones. Now I'm just going to use my hand to do this instead of the glove because it's kind of messier that way. And I just put them out like this, and this will make so many, enough to freeze up, y'all, and do that other meal, one of my freezer meals. The freezer meal I'll be cooking out after this on another show. I don't have in my cookbook. That's one of my new ones, and that'll be on the website. But
I will just have to say I've never had any chicken nuggets cooked the way that you did with the breadcrumbs on them and just the chicken, and they were fabulous last time.
Thank you. Smell this.
They really were.
Smell how good it smells.
Oh, it does smell good. It smells very sweet.
And I made up this recipe. All my recipes I made up. Did you know that?
I did not know that, Mary Beth. And again, as if we'd mentioned, and people don't know it, I said, okay, what if you can't remember everything that Mary Beth is doing? What I do, Mary Beth, what I do? And she says, you go to the Cooking with Miss O show, or Mary Beth's Kitchen, and order your cookbook. It's got all the recipes that you use.
That's right, and it's MISS because I'm a widow now, and also because they already had an MRS Miss O on the website, so they couldn't do that one.
Okay, so it's Miss O. That's very
MISS.
good. MISS, Miss O.
So,
is there a link to our website on your website?
I think there should be, if there's not, but I'm kind of thinking
one from ours to you.
I would love that. I would love that. And we're going to be doing on our website pretty soon, I think, where Tobe's going to come over to my house, and we're going to do just a few minute segments, a whole bunch of those, where I just give a tip for the kitchen and stuff, and for chicken, of course. Now I have to tell you, if you open my freezer, then you will see the only chicken I have in there is Springville Mountain. It's been like that for years and years and years. My kids don't know anything else much.
That's great.
Really. Yep. And I'll tell you why. If you are allergic to penicillin, or if you're allergic to sulfur drugs, like my daughter's allergic to sulfur drugs, if you eat a chicken and now they shoot it up in the egg, if you eat a chicken breast, or you have some broth from something that had that in it, you can have as bad or worse or mildly a reaction as if you just had that drug. And so that my daughter would break out welts when she'd have chicken that had been shot up with that, and you don't know which one. We would have whole dozen of eggs, Gus, before I did the organic. She would eat eggs with us at breakfast and be fine, and we'd get to one, and she'd break out just like she'd had sulfur. Wow. It was awful. It was awful, and I've heard, and they think
not at Springville Mountain Farms. We don't use any antibiotics.
Believe you me.
It's an all-vegetable diet.
It is, and it's American Humane.
It's American Humane.
That's the big deal.
That is correct. And they are the oldest certifying human animal rights organization that there is in the world.
You're right, and the other thing
they were started in the Civil War, taking care of the horses. In the war, yes, it started in the Civil War. The horses and the orphans that were left from the Civil War. They were born to, yes, and then they brought them down.
Was it started in the South, our good old South?
Yes.
We should be proud of that, shouldn't we? So we love the South, don't we?
Yes, we do.
We love everybody and everywhere, but I'm thankful I grew up here.
It's a way of life.
It is, isn't it? And,
those look good.
We're the only ones that don't have an accent in this country, aren't we? So it doesn't sound like it to us when we talk, does it?
No, especially me.
So now you Georgia boys have a different accent than we do. I didn't realize that. So
now I have people sometimes they go, well, I didn't see you there, but I heard you.
I understand that. And you know, something that you talked about this before, something, y'all, that we had growing up, and I know Gus will remember that. I had to stand by the fence the first part of first grade because my mom and dad were from the Midwest, and they didn't know that they moved here when I was 2, and so I know nothing else. But we had to say yes, ma'am, and yes, sir. And so I went home and cried one day, and Mom asked the teacher, she said, why is Mary always standing by the fence? And she said, because she doesn't say yes, ma'am. And so my mom really worked on me on that, and of course my little sister, because she was younger than me, and she hadn't gotten to school, and Mom didn't know that because they didn't do that, but she loved it. And I have to tell you, it has done the most wonderful thing. It's taught me respect.
It does teach you respect.
And I think we don't have respect today because we are not encouraging that,
No,
you know?
no, it is. Well, it just shows respect.
It does. And I did something that some people I studied Sarah in the Bible because I wanted to be a good wife because my parents were divorced and I didn't want that to happen. And so at first my husband didn't know quite how to handle it, but she called him Lord. So I called my husband Sir.
Aww.
Because I wanted to respect him, and I didn't know any other way to do it than that, you know.
Well, I know how much you loved your husband.
Yes, he was a precious man.
Yes,
I was really
he's a good
blessed.
man.
So are you a good man too.
Oh, thank you.
For making this chicken. Now, this is how it looks. We're going to put it in. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes.
At what temperature?
You can do it at 350. You can do it at 375. Or if your husband's about to come home and you don't have dinner on the table, you can do it at 400. Just watch it. Okay?
Okay.
So we're going to a commercial break right now. Thank you. Welcome back. We're here with our chicken nuggets, Gus.
Yes, and they look excellent, Mary Beth. They really, really do. They look better than last time.
Thanks so much. I appreciate that. And this is what I do with them, Gus. Okay. On a future show, I said it was going to be a two-parter, but on a future show, I have a freezer meal. So I wait till these cool enough, and I want y'all to see the papers so you can see how not a mess it is, how it's just not greasy at all.
It's not greasy, and another thing that I've noticed is how well that the bread sticks to them, and it was just a piece of moist chicken with your breadcrumbs.
Now, you said about rinsing it off.
Yes.
I realized what you were saying. I don't rinse them off because your chicken is so...
You're very nice, but the reason why I was wondering was just how much moisture did you have on there to make the bread and stick?
Now, probably because I had just thawed them out. They were still wet from being frozen, I think, and I had to break them apart a little bit still.
Right.
I do that.
Well, it sure did stick good. I don't know if the I don't know if the camera can see this, but there's
no grease.
There's no.
But
no
part of that is you
bread.
have some of the most fatless chicken I've ever eaten.
It's trimmed.
Well, I think when you do it the way that you're supposed to raise it on the right stuff,
yes,
and when people eat the right stuff, we don't have all that fat.
Yes, again, it's an all vegetarian diet.
That's right.
Just corn and soybean.
We're going to put this in the freezer, and we're going to do another show called Chicken Italian, and it's a freezer meal with this when we're done. Let's go ahead and try it, Gus.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. And we have baked sweet potatoes organic, and we're getting ready to go here. Thanks so much for joining us, and we're going to eat. Y'all have a great night. Thanks. Bye.
Thank y'all.